Thank you for tuning into Ebony Ice channel. Today I want to have a discussion. This discussion is about Jamaica and our economy, our state, the future, and just the well-being of Jamaica and Jamaicans. What it is that these politicians, the governments that we think we have put in place, what is it that they have done to ensure that we do not get left behind in our own society? And there's many fundamental things that was supposed to be done from the foundation of Jamaica getting its independence, or the independence that we so said we got. That didn't happen, and it is stuff that people move on from and pretend as if it doesn't happen, it still doesn't exist, and they don't acknowledge the fact that it also plays a very fundamental role in what is happening within the Jamaican society today. But people are so distracted and so divided, and they are so tribal, and when you look at it, that is the fault of one entity. But going to that entity, and when you look at the entity that you think is in control, or that the people think they are put in control, the governments that we think we elect, you realize that we really do not have power or control over this country. We don't really elect it. Well, we elect a representative, but even if we choose someone and the power that we say, no, that person shouldn't be, the Governor General and other people has power to remove that person. And even not really looking at them, the question is, who runs Jamaica? Who is there at Jamaica? Who makes decisions? Who controls Jamaica? And you realize that they make us, the people, think that it is us, the people of Jamaica, that actually controls here and make these decisions, when it is not us. It is so far from the truth. We do not control this place. There's a private council in England making decisions for us that many Jamaicans are not aware of. There, the Governor General plays such a fundamental role in what is happening in our society, and people's attention doesn't really look, onto the Governor General. People's attention is on the Prime Minister, when those people don't really have no power to make decisions. We are so distracted with these MPs, and these MPs don't really have power. It is the mayors that actually have the power. These MPs don't have power. It's actually the mayors that have the power. And, it's all a game that's been played. And the MPs are here to basically attract investors and the ministers, because they don't really have any control in terms of making laws and making sure that they protect what is, fundamental to the Jamaican people's survival and future, and making sure that we shine bright as a country. And when you check how, our economy is so down, the people are so very far from knowing what their currency is, what it means, how to control our currency. We do not control our currency. It's as if, it's just there, we use it, we're trapped within the paradigm of using it, and, it holds our value. Yet still, they don't really talk about it and make the Jamaican people really understand what's going on. And there's just so many things that is happening against us, and we're just so distracted. We see guns coming in here, drugs and all that, we're on drugs explicit list and all these things. Yet still, we don't produce drugs, and we don't make guns. And I think we have coast guards, and the coast guards are supposed to be patrolling Jamaica and making sure nothing comes to the waters. And also the people that checks people before coming into our country, at the airports. How is it that we have so much guns and trucks in our country? How is it that we, the people, are being blamed for something that we don't produce? And the government and its forces, the Coast Guard, JDF and JCF, they are the persons that have really failed in terms of protecting us, the Jamaican people, from these forces. And yes, these forces have penetrated our country, and the Jamaican people are being blamed for it. Yes, people have been caught up in it and said it, but we do not produce it. So it is coming from a larger rate over, it impacts the whole Jamaica, and we are viewed as this, tribal society and this degrading society, like we are some sort of cokeheads and just stupid people. And most Jamaicans view themselves in that way, because we allow other countries to view in this way, and then the Jamaican government as well uses that to accomplish all their things, all their agendas, because when you check it out, they don't really do anything for us. They don't pay our jail, but they have only added to the taxes. They have only added to our stress. They have only taxed not only us but the far future to come. They have sold the airspace, the wharves are sold, JPS, we don't own it, the water commission, we don't own it. So how is it that we are supposed to, be strong as a nation? How is it that we are supposed to survive? That's the question I'm asking. And then when you check it, away from the maroon quarters that are owned by those people, the rest of Jamaica, we don't own it, because the Queen owns every land. We're only land holders. So people are only holders of title. You only hold on to a land. You hold on to a piece of paper, you're there. But you don't own it. So if we don't really own the land, then we don't own the country. and it's a queen that is the head of us, and she doesn't talk to us. We don't have a relationship with her. We don't know what is her agenda for us. What is it that she wants for us? What how does she see us? And those are things that we need to ask, because we cannot have someone in a position and we are so far removed from her. I don't know who the shit the queen is. Definitely. And I know that the majority of Jamaica do not understand this whole system of governance, and that is one of the confusing thing, and how they have been able to trap the people from their minds. So them trap their minds in such a way that most people don't really understand the government, because their understanding is thinking JLP and PNP, which is the two different parties. They think they are who really have power in the country. That's what people think. That's what the majority thinks. That's what people think of power, and people are now divided between those two, parties, and those parties now is able now to get guns from outside and penetrate certain communities, and by getting guns in the community and gangs, then use those gangs to control the community and keep it, directed to one party. So therefore, you get tribalism, all these things in the country. At the end of the day, it's all this, just the politician playing back and using, cause and effect. So they cause the problem, but they blame us. But they are using it to get a political gain, or to get more control over the people, and to take away our freedom, and to make us feel criminalized. And they only traumatize the people of Jamaica. That's just it. These people have never set laws to protect us. What about laws to make sure that these Chinese, the Americans, and all these other people don't come in with the Chinese and Americans and these people don't come in our country and take out the economic gain that we the people are supposed to benefit. And you just have all these investors coming in and buying up the fundamental infrastructures that we as a country need to survive. So how is it that we as a country are supposed to survive? These people are setting us on a pathway of just slavery, not having no economic freedom, because I don't really see how we're going to have that. I want to see them. I don't understand. And then when you check the history of it now, they borrow so many loans that we didn't need in the first place. We didn't need any loan, but they borrowed loans, and they end up stealing and doing all sort of trickery with the money, and the money didn't do what it was supposed to do. Now we can't build any new school, we can't build any hospital, and these things. These government officials, these politicians, these corrupted thieves and gang members, they're the persons that have put us in this position. However, we the people of Jamaica are the ones being blamed and feel as if, the people of Jamaica is so bad and this and that. But you have to remember, this government wasn't created by us. We didn't create them. What is their purpose? And unless the Jamaican people find a way to really penetrate this government, protest against it, and really let them know that you have to put the Jamaica agenda there, put something that is going to secure our survival on the agenda. And just stop sell out and being die-hearted to a party. It doesn't benefit nobody, because you're just being so stupid and just blindly following something like a sheep to the slaughter. And what's the point of it? It makes no sense. If somebody does not have the necessary plans to make sure that they're going to create the right infrastructure and set out the pathway for a better future for you, why would you want that person in control of your future, not only your future but the future of your future generations? But that's the thing, most Jamaicans are not really educated as to what politics is, and the money. They are not really educated about the history of why we are in this economic situation that we're in and how we reach here. They are just indoctrinated and teach how to be a good workforce and to just come out in this world to work and just be idiots. But this society, it's got to change, and it's going to change, but the change is not going to come from the JDF, the JCF, and it's not going to come from none of these political parties, because they do not belong to us. They do not support our survival. And most of these people in politics, they weren't even born before independence, so most of them are just idiot. Their mentality, they don't really have no view. They're all controlled. So I don't see how they are going to help us, but just continue to put us in debt and sell out. Then just go sell us out continually. Yeah, because most people just go in politics because they think it's a way to make money to get rich fast, and then just want power, and they don't really have a sense or vision of future, and understanding that it is not them, it is not you alone. And if you can't listen to the many voices that is within the country, and you're going to be taking influence from outside and pretending as if the people in the country is so stupid and we must listen, makes no shit sense. And we should stand against it. It makes no sense. We have a head of state that we don't know. Makes no sense. They don't really embrace us because they don't have a sense of themselves. And these people think they want to lead, but people need to realize that, look, You need to elect people that believe in you. And sometimes we condemn ourselves because we have been brainwashed, we condemn ourselves. So even a Rasta man that is a Jamaican culture, you would not want to put a Rasta man in power like Osiris and those people on the road. You know, because you think like, oh, you have a Rasta out Jamaica, I don't want. No. You know what I mean? So them go indoctrinate you. And that's how much we ourselves view our culture in such a bad way, where we use it to put someone down instead of elevating it, because that person represents us and that person will help to make sure our culture is, stamped and well rooted within the society, and people have a sense and pride of themselves. It's not just using Bolt them around, not taking away from them glory and fame because they have done well and make us proud, but we need other achievements. And those are just the only thing you can be proud of when you really think of it. When you think of Jamaica, what put Jamaica on the map or make me proud? It is the people. It is not the government. Never. It is always the people. Yet still, who get the blame? The people get the blame for everything. The people are the worst. That's what the government say. Yet still, it is the people that make everyone want to come to Jamaica. We the people are wild. They just love us so much. They want to kill us for here because we the people make Jamaica great. But what? We are the worst, and even we have been taught to think about ourselves as the worst. When I really look at it, Jamaica is one of the best places to live. People don't just kill us. Yes, here we get robbed and certain things happen, but it's not like it doesn't happen elsewhere. And sometimes they just write it up like, yeah, black man I kill black man, white man kill white man too. You just don't see it and they don't portray it in a negative way. No, black man not really just go out. The Jamaican not just really go kill somebody so without knowing who them is, or not having a personal feud or argument with them or some kind of thing. We are not like that. Yet still you see in other society and other countries where people just go out and shoot up on one church, shoot up where we aren't doing that out here. So how is it that we are portrayed in this way of like we're psycho? You know, I'm saying like we're psycho. You know, we are this society of angry people and we are just always at war with ourselves. No, it's not right. And it is time now Jamaican people really see the beauty in themselves. And it is time now we start put pressure on these people to continue where our ancestors left off. Because when you check certain treaties and those stuff, these people have lied to us. And they fight for independence and freedom. When you check those original treaty, you realize that it is why the Queen is still at that state, because we signed the contract in blood oath. That is what we did because we believe in the Maroon thing. So it was done in blood. But what they did was write some contract, some treaty, and they write stuff that we did not agree to. But however, we are so much far from that, we don't even really understand the trickery of what is happening in the society. And even how we have governors and certain people is because you hear about culture on these people after the war, and they got, they were the chiefs and leader them people, and after they died, people were supposed to be successors of them, and you had people that succeeded. And hence the reason you have some people that, govern certain parishes. You have governor and all these shit. But most people don't really know why these people are there. What do you think a governor is for? A governor is not just there for just a figurehead. That person has power over the parish, even more than the MP. So, Jamaican people really need to understand the system of Jamaican who is in control, because who we think is in control is not in control. It is a whole different paradigm, a whole different thing happening. However, they are distracting us and making us living this lie, and the people just buy it. The people buying it because they have this sense of nationhood and Jamaican pride. Yes, we're supposed to have it, but we are supposed to also make sure that our society reflects us and not a mockery of us. And that is really what our society reflects. When it comes on to the government, I'm talking. So not the people. As I said, the people is very loving. The people of Jamaica is one of the best people. I know that. So I don't know. Things really just need to change because it's not right the way they portray us, and that is one of the things to where police brutality, the JDF and JCF, all these people, you really realize that the Jamaica army never got to war with nobody. At least that is why it's to show. We've never been to war with nobody but ourselves. Yet still we are paying these them forces to come and abuse us and cause trauma. I personally have been held up at gunpoint many times, and it was just because of the JDF and the JCF officers just wanting to show their dominance. The way these people operate, I think it was a way of law, how they are supposed to do stuff here. And most of the time they go off a hearsay or what they feel, and they don't have warrant, they don't have the proper permission to carry out the actions that they are carrying out. So how is it that they're allowed to break the law so much time? How is it they're allowed to go in people's home, disrespect people, and humiliate the Jamaican people? And you think as if these forces are for us? How is it that the JDF officers are supposed to be able to, inflict wounds on people by stabbing up people and them. So they always say that the JDF officers are supposed to stab up people and nothing is just normal. And they're just psychos kicking up people, boxing up people and all that. It's like, and for me, I'm like, okay, is this how them operate? Is them try to traumatize you to see you go through that? And I'm like, no. If that is how these people deal with their young Jamaican people, it's totally unacceptable for me. And it's better we never have them. It's better we didn't have them. Police being, friend with gang members, and I've heard police try some weird shit in Kingston here and many parishes. I've encountered some things, man, and it's just really shocking how these things operate, how these officers operate, and then they want to make it seem like, oh, they're perfect and we're the bad people, and then now they have actually been able to twist it, and now we are defending them, and they say, oh, Jamaicans as a policeman, and they're not bad. Of course, they're really bad. They're wicked. They're gang members and thieves. These people are not properly trained, and they need to understand one of the things that these public servants, all public servants of Jamaica need to know is that when you go to work for the people of Jamaica, not to impose your personal belief on them, not to impose your view on them, but to deal with everybody equal and to show respect. And don't group anyone or think they should be like this or that or we are your view of people. People is people. And one of the things that we don't really have in Jamaica is that people don't respect people and don't just see people for how they are. They just think it should be this way, that way, and if you don't match their vision of what they think it should be, then put you in some box and write out who you are, and they have their view of who you are, and then they use that to approach you in such a negative way, and some of the time they use it to even hurt you without even knowing you, and it is wrong. And those stuff is very traumatizing, and it's traumatizing for anyone. But these politicians needs to go through it, and even these police themselves, people need to start holding them at gun. Well, I guess the police are getting gunpoint when going with criminals, but then again, are the same politicians giving these people the guns, because guns are not supposed to coming into our borders, because we have Coast Guards and JDF and JCF and border security at the airports that should make sure it doesn't reach in here. So how it reach in here? Their fault. And then when they check it out and see how much these politicians have their hands in gang, and gang members are helping them, in their victory parties and these things. And, it is really sad. How them have gang members supporting them in their politics. Thank you, viewers, for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe to our channel. Also hit that notification button to be notified of every new video that we upload. Thank you, viewers.